This is IGN. The Fantastic Four: First Steps stretches towards $370 million in the box office. Welcome to your IGN Daily update. But first, F1 is a smash hit, and it turns out that it was also a major milestone for its star, Brad Pitt. The film is still killing at the worldwide box office and has now surpassed $540 million to become Pitt's highest-grossing film of all time. The actor's 2013 film World War Z originally held that title with a solid $540 million worldwide gross, but F1 has now amassed a whopping $545 million in the 6 weeks since it debuted in theaters, which pushes Pitt's zombie film to the second slot. F1 is also Apple's most successful theatrical release. Ridley Scott's Napoleon only ended up grossing $218 million worldwide, and Martin Scorsese's impeccable thriller drama Killers of the Flower Moon came home with $157 million globally. The racing film is the biggest release for an Apple film ever, so it's kind of cool that it's also Pitt's most successful project to date. That said, it is also a bit insane that F1 and World War Z were Pitt's best projects financially, simply because of the longtime household name that he is. It's a bit nuts to think that he's never cracked the $1 billion mark with one of his films, but he's also never been in a superhero movie either, which is also kind of crazy. The man has been in a lot of successful films, so this just goes to show. And Tim Burton himself is remaking the classic film Attack of the 50-Foot Woman, and it looks as though he may have found his leading lady in none other than Margot Robbie, who may also produce the film under her Lucky Chap production company label. The Wolf of Wall Street and Barbie star is currently in talks for the title role, according to Variety, and the deal, should it be made, would include Robbie producing the film alongside her Lucky Chap partners, husband Tom Ackerley and Josie McNamara. However, the project is currently searching for a new writer, and Robbie's involvement with the film would depend on the final version of the script. Lucky Chap is a highly sought-after production company at this point, with Robbie and writer-director Greta Gerwig's smash hit Barbie taking the spotlight on their resume. Warner Brothers signed a first-look deal with the studio as a result, so it makes sense it would want to collaborate with her again on a major reboot. Plus, Burton is a legend himself, and he's done a lot for the studio recently. In 2024, his sequel film Beetlejuice ended up being a box office hit, even 40 years after the release of the original film. With over $450 million coming from Burton's latest project, it's also a no-brainer for Warner Brothers to give him the reins to make his magic once again. The Fantastic Four: First Steps has made nearly $370 million globally after a big box office drop during its second weekend of release. After launching in North American theaters to a strong $118 million during its first weekend, First Steps brought in another $40 million domestically this past weekend, which marks a significant drop of 66%. Domestically, First Steps is now at $198.4 million, and internationally, it's hit $170.3 million. That makes for a current global tally of $368.7 million. According to Variety, analysts had expected a weekend 2 box office drop of 55 to 60% due to positive word of mouth and a lack of competing movies coming out. Superman, by way of comparison, suffered a second weekend decline of 53%. First Steps is an important release for Marvel Studios, as it kicks off Phase 6 of the MCU and comes after 2 box office disappointments in Captain America: Brave New World and Thunderbolts. It's worth noting that First Steps is on course to beat both films' final box office tallies, $415.1 and $382.3 million respectively, and it will comfortably secure its place as the highest-grossing Fantastic Four movie ever. The question for Marvel Studios and parent company Disney will be whether First Steps ends up doing enough business during its theatrical run to not only prove profitable, but to reignite the MCU as it heads towards 2026's crucial Avengers Doomsday. Amid the fuss over the Fantastic Four's box office, DCU Kickstarter Superman now has a global box office take of $551.2 million after weekend 4. Domestically, it added another $13.9 million, marking a strong hold of 44% to hit $316.2 million. The film earned $11.2 million internationally this weekend for a global weekend take of $25.1 million. That's your IGN Daily Update. My name is Tony Jackson, and if you want more news on your favorite games and entertainment topics, make sure to visit us at IGN.com. You can also download our free app on your phone or console and subscribe to our weekly podcasts through the podcast service of your choice.
Spoken Layer.